my name's Megan Peters with Keller Williams Platinum Partners, and today we are in Wheeling, Illinois, right off of Milwaukee, at Shirley's Dollhouse. And what a treasure of a shop that we are going to dive into. We're going to be talking to Susan and her two daughters, and just the history of this shop. This shop's been in the family for generations, and we're also on an old farm, which is this building behind me right here is from the late 1800s. So not only will there be family history in this shop, but there is history through the whole century of late 1800s into the 1900s. So let's go in and talk to Susan and her family and just see how much this shop means to them. So thank you so much for sitting down with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Let's just talk about the history of your shop. What is going on here? So there's a lot going on here. So.
Well, my mom opened the shop in 1975. She started collecting in 1964 in our basement. She was pregnant with my youngest brother, and we were up in Minnesota, and somebody showed her a doll collection, and that's what started it.
Snowballed from there.
Yes, it did.
So how did this shop, or the idea of having that doll shop in your basement, influence you and how you grew up? How did that happen for you?
Well, it taught me a lot of responsibility, a lot of hours that you'd have to put into a shop. My mom was a very strong-willed woman, and she taught us right from wrong and how to manage ourselves and our businesses and what to do. She taught me how to string a doll at 9 years old and work on porcelain and bisque and composition, and so it was a long haul, but it was done. She had a very very good mind when it came to business and great ideas, and a lot of style when it came to, she had a lot of knowledge when it came to dolls and miniatures and things for collecting. And then she became a great businesswoman where she opened up the shop. So it took her a while, but she did it. And shipping, we did a lot of shipping.
Well, and you still do a lot of shipping,
yeah,
right? So
now because of eBay.
Right. So what tell us about the eBay. What's
Well, right now I have over 1,000 items on, about 1,500 I have on. But I have everything from doll shoes to knickknacks to all different kinds of dolls and clothes and even Barbies. You know, we've got everything from porcelain to Barbies to porcelain, we'll say.
Yeah.
Inexpensive and expensive. Teddy bears, we can't forget Steiff. Yes, Steiff is in there from Germany.
And there's some Beanie Babies in here.
Oh, yes, we have Beanie Babies.
For the novice collector that I would consider myself.
Well,
every
Beanie
little
Babies
kid was a big part of our childhood growing up. So
1996 is when the craze actually started. And we had, at that time, split everything into teddy bears and Beanie Babies, went to a different shop because there was such a craze.
Wow.
And my daughters and I ran that one until 2004, when the fad sort of started dying off. And that's sort of when Ty decided to go the end and then the beginning again. Sort of confused everybody, I think. And that started the downslide of it. And then we combined everything back into one, and that's where we're at now.
So who would you say your main clientele is? So if I'm shopping for dolls, like what kind of things do you want to make sure that you you want to have something for everybody? Or
that we do. We have it starts out with, we've got babies for the very first dolls for little kids. Like when grandmas come in and they want to buy their grandchild a doll. Usually it's a Madame Alexander or a bath baby, somebody that can take a bath, or even a teddy bear that they can hug that's really soft. We carry a really nice line called Gans, just for the little kids, and it's all baby oriented. And then even Steiff has come out with some baby items. I've got used and brand new stuffed animals, and that's really nice for the collector and for little kids that they buy for.
You do restoration too, and
Yeah,
fixes, or
somewhat. Yeah, we do
Mhm.
positively do all restringing and try to put the dolls together. My favorite doll in the shop is one of my mom's. She did a lot of exclusives
Mhm.
and through a lot of different companies, and she had a lot of visions. And my favorite one was called Susan Stormalong, and I don't have that one here.
Mhm.
There's only one that I have. She had sold out, and I didn't even get one. I had to actually buy mine on eBay.
No, okay.
And so I do have a Susan Stormalong now, but that one was my favorite. And my other one that I really like is The Little Collector, and that's by Madame Alexander. In fact, it's sitting behind you
Oh, okay.
with the little apron, and I like
This
that
one right
Yeah,
here?
that's The Little Collector. But
Wow.
she comes with her own little doll and her little basket of flowers. So out of all her exclusives, I think that would be it. But I'm more of an antique doll collector.
Okay.
I like the vintage hard plastics from Madame Alexander or from F&B. I like the Patsy dolls. I like the older ones from the 30s, 40s, and 50s. Little Women's my favorite. So I've got my personal collection. I've got 7 different sets of Little Women, and I finally have a complete set of the hard plastics. It's really nice. So.
Wow. Well, I can definitely say this isn't a shop that I can say that I've ever been into a shop like this. It feels like when you walk in here, you're walking into like a time capsule. You see, things from, you said the night when you gave me a tour, 1930s, 40s, 50s.
We have from the late 1800s on up.
Wow, and I think that's incredible, and that goes all the way, like we talked about the Beanie Babies, from then all the way through. So it's like a really, you do have like a century, like coverage of history in this shop, which I think is incredible.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah.
We have a case of antique dolls, the bisque dolls. I have a French doll that's it's an unmarked French doll, and it reminds me of a brew. My mom really liked brews, and she got us into knowing what kind of bisque dolls were and the names of them. And now I know people say A&M dolls are more common, but I like their faces. I love the Kessners, and we have a couple of them in the shop.
So what kind of specials, do you guys do sales very frequently, or do you have anything going on
Well,
right
now, if you notice on most of the cases,
Mhm.
they have little pink cards until the end of the year, so that people can still spend their holiday money till the 31st of December. We have 20 to 75% off
Wow.
everything in the shop. There's no exclusions. There is a sale on everything.
And does that transfer onto your eBay shop as well?
No, the eBay. I have them priced so low on eBay. I couldn't do
Okay.
that
Sure.
if I tried.
Sure.
So whatever you see in the shop is not on eBay.
Oh, okay.
I have that separated so that if someone comes into the shop and likes something, I'm not going to pull it. I don't have to pull it off eBay.
Yeah.
I do have, like multiple things, like the exclusives. We have multiple, so yes, I do have them online.
That's a
But
good
then
idea.
the stuff that is online is not in the shop.
Yeah.
So
I guess the doll shop taught me the most about being a manager, leading, I guess I would say.
oh yes,
Could also be that I was the oldest sibling, but I mean, I take it everything I've learned from here and I use it at work every day, and I mean,
well, I noticed that both of you have such a great mind when it comes to design, and with doing displays and ideas that make me run up and down stairs a lot, and changing things in the shop. I mean, every time you come here, we do change something, which is very nice. Is there anything you learned from Grandma during all of this?
I think
Or
it
a
How to
was
demand what I want, take control, and
I could see that.
yeah, it's just not letting anybody step on you. I
Yeah.
mean, she was truly a leader. She did this by herself. I mean, she was a single woman, and she built a business. And one of my favorite stories of her is she was we had a warehouse in Wheeling for the time, and there was they brought her in because they were negotiating. I think the lease is what they were trying to negotiate,
Right.
and they brought in 7 lawyers with my one grandma.
Yeah.
And my grandma didn't even smoke. And she literally was like, well, this is what you're going to do. Here's how it's going to handle. And she took out a cigarette and lit it in front of the whole group and just like, this is what's going to happen or I'm walking. And they did it. And she knew, don't let anybody roll over you. And that was, I mean, I think that's huge for women in
Yeah.
general. And I think that that's something that she really instilled in us to make sure that if we know what we want, we got to go after it. No one's going to do it for us. And
That she did. And that she did.
so since our grandma passed, I think it's been a fun time. Sorry.
That's okay.
I think it's brought us a little bit closer because we've gotten to
very
spend
much
time
so.
together, making it our own, making it our families. What's great is the entire family, our cousins have come down and helped us, our uncles, our aunt from Minnesota. So
Yeah,
it's been
everybody's really pitched in to help us. In fact, my brother's coming this week to help me change a big light in a
Yeah.
ceiling. So
it's
So
keeping
it's-
the family close together
Yeah.
and
not just for helping here. We now get together more because I think we realize what family's all about, not just the business, which is really nice, you know. And I mean, my daughter, one of them here, and she lives up in Wisconsin, still comes and visits me once a week.
Yeah.
And not you know what? And I feel very strong that she's not coming because she has to, but because she wants to, you know. And this one has to, but you know.
So
No.
I mean it's truly a family business, and I mean it's
What I
our
like most
heart.
in here is seeing the little kids come in. And when they come in and they see these cases and they see all these dolls and toys, vintage toys, we've got all these old vintage toys from boys and girls to look at, you know, what their parents did, what they played with. In fact, parents will come in and say, I had one of those or I had one of these. And some of them actually will buy them because it brings back a good memory, and that's what we like to see. In fact, when little kids come in, they all get a free Beanie Baby. I've actually given a couple to the adults, you know, because they're big kids at heart, and I think that's what brings this shop or a shop like this is that you get to find out that we are all little kids at heart, you know, that there's something in us that is still about little kids, which I like.
Well, thank you so much, ladies, for letting me come in and get to know your family and see your shop, which it feels like seeing this shop gets to know your family that much more. And I think having I feel like people forget that dolls transcends, like, they are across the board toys of all ages. And I feel like there's so much history here, and it's just a beautiful thing to come in and get to know you ladies. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.